she's an undercover ATF agent, and you think that she's the criminal, but she's not. It was awesome. Doing all the stunts was really exciting for me, and it was really exciting for them to have this like little chick.
Have you ever thought about why your favorite characters leave your favorite shows? They solve crimes, make jokes, and save the day 1 minute. And then they're gone the next. Not a warning. Don't say goodbye.
I went through a really tough period because we were together for a long time. It was sort of when all the tabloids started happening. Our whole life became about, we have to keep them out.
You've probably felt that sting more than once if you've watched NCIS. But what did really happen? Why did they go? Did they make the choice? Or something worse going on behind the scenes? Do not leave yet, because we are about to reveal the truth about 12 shocking exits that you did not expect. Number 12. Sasha Alexander. Kate Todd was a big part of why people watched NCIS when it first came out. Sasha Alexander was cool, sure of herself, and funny. She also had a steady energy that made her feel like the team's backbone. Fans thought she'd be there for a long time because she got along so well with Gibbs and the others. But after only 2 seasons, everything changed. Not only did her character leave, but she was also killed in a way that made people gasp. She was standing there 1 second, and then a shooter shot her and killed her. It came on fast, hard, and way too soon. All of them had questions. Why would the show fire one of its most interesting stars so soon? The answer wasn't a story twist or a way to get more viewers. It came from the real world. Behind her smiles and quick work solving crimes, Sasha was tired. The production plan for the show was crazy. 17-hour days, almost all year, with almost no breaks. And it was too much for someone who had just finished another show before starting NCIS. Both her body and mind were tired. She was so upset that she went to the producers and asked to leave. She wasn't mean, she was just honest. It wasn't drama, it was ordinary people's limits. The producers knew what to do. That was her choice. And they made sure she had a memorable farewell. Oh yes, it was scary. But there was also a quiet message. This show may be popular, but the stress of having to keep it going can be bad. That was just the start. While Sasha left because she was tired, the next person who left did so because they were bored. The kind of boredom that can happen even when you're watching TV and acting like a boss. Lauren Holly had the strength, the personality, and the history with Gibbs, but she couldn't get away from what was coming. It wasn't about stress in her story, being aware that the part you play might not be what you signed up for, even when you're in charge. What happened next would really shock the people in charge of NCIS. Watch on, because Lauren Holly's story shows that even people in charge can want to leave sometimes. Number 11. Lauren Holly. When Lauren Holly joined NCIS, it seemed like everything would change. She wasn't just another agent with a badge, she was the head, the boss, and the person who told them what to do. Her part was strong and mysterious, and she had just enough history with Gibbs to make things feel personal. There were only 6 shows planned for her time on the show, but something worked. Fans liked how they worked together, and all of a sudden, she was locked in for a lot more, nearly 50 shows to be exact. She was a big part of the NCIS plot and leadership, and people quickly got used to seeing her at the top. But something changed behind the scenes. What began as an exciting chance slowly turned into a dull habit. It didn't change how fast-paced the show was, but her character did. Jenny Shepard wasn't being pushed in new ways by the writing. There was no change or growth. Every week, it's the same dull choices, the same office, and the same office. And for an actor who had come in to make things interesting, the part began to lose its spark. The deal was sealed when showrunner Don Belisario quit the show. He was in charge of hiring her and creating her story arc. Her personality changed after he left, but not in a good way. Lauren clearly said she did it. She was bored, not mad, not bad. Done. In the end, the writers got rid of her. They didn't just say goodbye, though. They said goodbye to her in a very dangerous way. Jenny Shepard was killed in a gunfight with people who were enemies from her past. It was exciting and risky, and she made sure that her exit made a deal. For NCIS, her death wasn't just another plot twist. It marked the end of an era. But when the top seat changed hands, the show's main focus also changed. Fans were getting comfortable again when someone else left. This time, it wasn't because they were bored or tired. There was something more going on. She felt like her character, voice, and story weren't getting the attention they needed. And her sudden departure shocked everyone, even the people who worked with her. Number 10. Cote de Pablo. She didn't just replace a character when Cote de Pablo joined NCIS. She changed what it meant to be a fan favorite. Ziva David wasn't like most people. She was smart, always changing her mind, and hard to avoid. The energy changed as soon as she walked in. She was the cause of the spark, the stress, and the feeling. People cheered for her, worried about her, and watched everything she did. When she left all of a sudden in season 11, it scared not only fans but also the whole cast. The exit appeared out of thin air. She was in the middle of big stories one day and not there the next. David McCallum, who played Ducky, said that not even he saw it coming. There were no early warnings or build-ups for the goodbye. Nothing but silence. Cote didn't say why she left at first. She said it was about her. The silence didn't last, though. She later told me something that really hurt. It wasn't about money or time in front of the TV. It had to do with respect. Cote thought the stories didn't show how much work she had put into making Ziva. She said that the writing no longer fit the fierce, complex character she had helped make for 8 years. That hurt more than anything else. Not only was it upsetting, but it also made staying impossible. She was not ready to leave. She thought she had to. Not only did her leaving leave a hole in the show, but it also raised questions that were never really explained. Ziva was said to be dead. She wasn't then. Then she came back. Her short return gave fans hope, but it wasn't enough to fix what was wrong. That lack is still there in the show's DNA. Her leaving showed that bad writing can hurt even the best characters. Even the biggest stars will leave when people no longer respect them. But while Cote fought for the honor of her character, someone else was quietly giving up. His story wasn't shocking or out of the blue. Over 13 long seasons, it got worse and worse, until he finally said he couldn't keep going. Because Michael Weatherly quit, it wasn't because of stress. It was because of the weight that comes with doing the same thing for too long. Number 9. Michael Weatherly. For more than 10 years, Tony DiNozzo kept NCIS going with his charm, snark, and chaos. He was played by Michael Weatherly for 13 years, which made him one of the show's most loved and reliable faces. DiNozzo added a spark that kept everything in check, no matter how important the cases got. But behind all the quick quips and silly smiles, something else was building. Tiredness. Michael had reached his limit after more than 300 shows. He admitted it himself. Working on set all year had worn him out. It wasn't just one big event or a fight behind the scenes. It was time. He could feel that the circle was closed after 13 seasons. He was done. The writers wished him well on his way out. His character didn't end up dead. He was just left to take care of his daughter. It was a quiet, emotional goodbye that closed the door, but left it open. But what happened next made it harder for him to leave. Not long after quitting NCIS, Michael got the lead role in another CBS show called Bull, but this new part caused a stir. Eliza Dushku joined Bull for a part that was supposed to last for more than one season. She was fired, though, after accusing Michael of making rude comments on set. CBS looked into it and later settled with Dushku for $9.5 million. Michael said sorry for some of the things he did, but the incident still hurt him. Michael's link to NCIS never really went away, though. He's made hints about coming back more than once. Fans will always remember how well Dinozo and Ziva got along, especially those strange posts of the two of them in Paris. There is still the quiet but living hope of a comeback in the background. His leaving wasn't as messy as some others, but it still had its weight. A lot of hours. A long time. One chance to finally be able to breathe again. Michael decided to leave on his terms, but the next star's departure caused a lot of fear, accusations, and secrets that no one saw coming from one of the show's most loved stars. Because Pauley Perrette didn't just leave a lab coat behind when she left, she also left a message. Number 8. Pauley Perrette as Abby Sciuto. From icon to outcry, Abby Sciuto wasn't just a character, she was a sign. Lab whiz, goth queen, and team leader. Fans loved Pauley Perrette as Abby for 15 seasons because she had so much energy and was so kind. Kids wished they were her. Adults looked up to her. And for many, she was what NCIS was all about. That's why her sudden departure in season 15 was so shocking. Fans didn't just feel lost, they felt lied to. Abby wasn't the type of person who would just leave. But Pauley had had enough. This time, it wasn't because of scripts or boredom. It was about being scared. She sent a bunch of vague but strong messages on social media after she quit. It was said that she had been multiple physically assaulted and that she felt unsafe. Even though she didn't say names at first, everything fit together. Several reports said that Mark Harmon's dog bit a team member. Even though the dog kept coming to the set, the bite was so bad that stitches were needed. That made things stressful. It was said that things got worse when Pauley spoke up. She said that telling people no took away the safety and peace she used to have at work. She told him later that she was scared of Harmon, that she had dreams, that she would never return. And even though CBS said they worked with her to resolve the problem, Pauley insisted that what happened behind the scenes was darker than fans knew. Her goodbye didn't feel like peace. It felt like a forced escape. She left Abby's signature parasol behind, a quiet reminder of the character and perhaps of everything she couldn't say directly. This wasn't just a character leaving a show. It was a warning about what can happen when fear takes over a workplace. And it shook the fans to their core. But just as things were getting calm, another exit opened. This one didn't cause any trouble or pain. It came from a more peaceful place. They chose to leave before the party turned into something it wasn't meant to be. That's why Jennifer Esposito came on NCIS like a storm and left just as quickly. Number 7. Jennifer Esposito. It looked like the right time for Jennifer Esposito to join NCIS as Alex Quinn. Now that Dinozo was gone, the show needed some new life. Quinn had been around for a while, had good instincts, and fit right in with the team. She seemed like she was made to last. Fans wanted her to take charge, become an important player, and stay for a long time. But she was gone before anyone could get too cozy. There was no big goodbye. Not a big goodbye. Just left. Quinn quietly left the show without being seen. What is the official cause? She left to take care of her mum, who was sick. But that answer seemed too simple, too quickly. It didn't fit with how strong the character was set up. That's when the rumors began. Some people thought Jennifer was sick. Some people thought something bad had happened behind the scenes. But she spoke up right away and stopped them. She said she wasn't even close to being sick. She also made it clear that she never thought her time on NCIS would last. She said that when she signed up, she knew it was only for a short time. She liked the part, she liked working with the team, but the run was only going to last a short time. That means the move wasn't personal. It was planned. Fans still felt like they missed out on a chance. There was a lot of promise in Quinn, but the story ended before it began. Her leaving didn't shake things up as much as some others, but it did add to a trend of talented actors coming in, connecting with viewers, and then leaving before anything could really grow. Fans began to wonder, why can't anyone stay? More and more as it happened. But while Esposito quit on her own, the next person who left was fired because of a real loss that changed the show's direction. Because when a key director died out of the blue, it left one actor wondering where he fit in and another character without a future. And when Dwayne Henry's time was up, it was with one last act of sacrifice that will never be forgotten. Number 6. Dwayne Henry. It wasn't just another student that Clayton Reeves was. He stood out because of his style, background, and cool foreign edge. He brought something new to NCIS because he used to work for MI6. People were interested. Where did he come from? What did he keep hidden? He looked like he would play a big role in the next group of players. And then, as quickly as he came, he was gone. And it broke my heart. It was 2 blows for fans. It was hard to lose Reeves, but it was even worse to lose Abby at the same time. It felt like NCIS had cut out 2 hearts at the same time. It was even harder to figure out why it happened. Gary Glassberg, who runs the show, came up with Clayton Reeves. He had faith in the character. He had plans, but everything changed when Glassberg died out of the blue. The idea went away, and so did the support for Reeves. Dwayne Henry later said he could tell that people were lost on what to do next with the story. The speed had stopped. He even said he could see the fear in people's faces. Dwayne agreed when it was time to write his farewell. He liked how things turned out. It was TV history to him. Reeves didn't just disappear. He died as a hero, protecting someone who people had loved for more than 10 years. His leaving wasn't a mess. It meant something. But there was something fragile underneath. How much the future of a character rests on the people who make them. The story might not make sense after those people leave. Even though it hurt, NCIS kept going. But the next exit wasn't because of a tragedy or being burned out. It was because of a quiet change in goals. A beautiful actress left without any trouble or scandal, and she didn't look back. Because Emily Wickersham didn't run away in a rage. She had a reason for leaving. Number 5. Emily Wickersham. Ellie Bishop didn't just jump right into the world of NCIS, she took her time. After Ziva left, she became the new face of the team. She was thoughtful, smart, and tough in a quiet way. People didn't believe in Emily Wickersham at first, but she won them over 8 seasons. She wasn't trying to change who she was. Bishop was her name. She was steady, interested, and fully engaged. A lot of people saw her as the start of a new age and a much-needed boost of energy for the show. Fans thought Bishop would be back after season 18 finished, when she left on a secret mission. Most of the time, that kind of leaving means a break, not goodbye. Then Emily put a message on Instagram without telling anyone. With just a simple "thank you," she was gone. There was no emotion or reason given. She ended her time on the show by saying it was an epic ride. At first, no one knew why she left. She was still loved by many, still important to the team, and still a part of big stories. The truth eventually came out, though. She took a step back to focus on her own life. Though it wasn't because of bad blood or being tired, she was leaving because she was about to become a mom. There wasn't a controversy or a sudden fall. It was a change. To tell us that people choose peace sometimes, even when they are doing well. Bishop's last scene didn't have any gunfire or chaos, but it still made a mark. Not every exit has to scream. Some people just whisper and leave. Her goodbye marked the end of a chapter, but moves that come as a surprise will still happen. Someone who rose quickly and became a fan favorite quit, and this time people paid attention. There were a lot of angry rumors going on behind the calm story that was told. Because when Shalita Grant left, it made things more confusing than clear. And the silence made things worse. Number 4. Shalita Grant. It was hard to miss Shalita Grant as Sonia Percy on NCIS, New Orleans. Her appearance gave the spin-off a boost of adrenaline because she was sharp, brave, and honest. It began as a recurring guest part, but it quickly turned into a full-time job. She wasn't just a member of the team, she became an important part of it. Percy set the screen on fire and quickly made room for her. But just as her energy was reaching its peak, she was gone. There was no big send-off. There was no plot twist. "I'm gone." She was told by her team that the leave was mutual and even friendly. She herself said it was just time for a change, as if everything had been planned. Fans didn't believe it, though. It didn't make sense because she had too much heat, too much promise, and too much screen time. People don't become characters that quickly just to erase them without making a sound. So, it was only normal that rumors spread. Some people who worked on the show said there might have been problems behind the scenes, like if she had a disagreement with the producers or the creative choices weren't going her way. There was never any proof, and Shalita never told the truth about what happened. But the quiet told a lot. People were confused about what had happened, because there's always more to the story when such a skilled actress disappears in the middle of the season without a word. When she left, there was a big hole in the team. Percy was not like any other agent. With her different kind of edge, things were never the same again. NCIS. New Orleans lost some of its spark after she left. It's not always about how a character goes. It's about why it seemed like it came too soon. But that wasn't the end of the shocks. Another strong female star would be thrown out. But this time, it wouldn't be her choice. There wasn't a quiet choice or creative argument that led to her leaving. It was a worse thing. Something strong at the beginning and quiet at the end. Number 3. Zoe Mlelen. Zoe Mlelen was sure of herself and full of promise when she joined NCIS New Orleans. She was introduced as Special Agent Meredith Brody, a new female lead who could handle being smart, in charge, and intense without being loud. People liked her right away, and it seemed like the show had found the right person to help anchor its group. But she left just as things were getting better. No exciting death. No brave farewell. Not really goodbye. Fans were only told that CBS had creative differences. But after a while, things got worse in the story. Former showrunner Jeffrey Lieber told the network in a story that made a lot of people angry the real reason Mlelen was fired. It wasn't about how she acted. Chemistry wasn't the subject. Lieber said that Les Moonves, the head of CBS, had made a bad decision because he didn't think she was fuckable enough. That one insulting comment caused people to want to get rid of her. Lieber pushed back because he thought Zoe was doing a great job, and that people liked her. Not long after that, though, Lieber was killed. Mlelen never said anything in public, and the character was never brought back. Moonves was later fired from CBS after being accused of sexual misconduct more than once, but that didn't change what had already happened. A good actor was fired not because of how she performed, but because someone in power abused their position behind the scenes. It turned out to be one of the scariest stories from the series ever. No exciting plot. It was just a quiet exit that came from something bad. The fans were shocked and angry when Mlelen left, but the next one really hurt them. It wasn't sketchy. It wasn't an issue. It had to do with something more personal, a choice made from the heart. But the next actor decided to leave, not because he had to, but because he had to. Zoe was pushed out. Lucas Black didn't leave with a scandal. He left with a plan. The next scene was one of the most moving ones NCIS New Orleans had ever shown. He died on screen, but it wasn't just the end of a role. It was also the end of an actor who put his family before fame. Fans all over the world felt it when it happened. Number 2. Lucas Black. Chris LaSalle was easy to root for from the very first episode of NCIS New Orleans. Lucas Black played him. He wasn't the biggest or most interesting character, but he was always willing to put himself in danger for the group. He was one of the most grounded characters in the whole series over the course of 6 seasons, thanks to his quiet strength and southern charm. It seemed like he belonged in every scene when he was there. After season 6, he wasn't there. He didn't get a slow fade out on the show. Fans were shocked when LaSalle was shot and killed in a sudden and sad plot twist. It hurt to watch him die, not because it was cruel, but because it felt real. It was clear that this wasn't just another story twist from how the team reacted, how the scene played out, and how sad things got afterward. It was a real goodbye. Behind the scenes, Lucas Black later told everyone what the reason was. He felt like it was time to take a break after years of non-stop filming, long hours, and strict production plans. He wanted to spend time with his family. His goals had changed, and the stress of having to work all the time was no longer worth it. Lucas decided to focus on his personal life instead of trying to get more fame, seasons, or episodes. He wrote a touching message on Instagram after the show aired. That's all she wrote. There was no trouble. Don't be angry. Peace only. There was no gossip or trouble surrounding his leaving, which made it even more powerful. It served as a lesson that leaving isn't always the best thing to do. Fans were heartbroken when LaSalle died. That part of the show was very painful, not because of what happened, but because of what it meant. His disappearance can still be felt in the show even now. It's not always hard to say goodbye. Some are about being clear. Lucas Black made his decision with no bad feelings. Number 1. Miguel Ferrer. Miguel Ferrer wasn't just another face on NCIS. Los Angeles. He was the show's calm leader. He brought toughness, control, and a style that made people listen to Owen Granger. From season 3 on, he kept his ground as the show's assistant director. The team had someone who could be tough without getting angry. But while Granger kept the team together on screen, Miguel was facing a battle in the background. He had been told he had throat cancer. His voice got weaker, but his work never did. Even as his illness got worse, he kept acting, even though he was in pain, tired, and clearly getting worse. It wasn't hidden by the writers. They changed his plot to fit what he was going through in real life. So the audience knew the truth, without him having to say it. Miguel watched the whole show. Everyone who worked with him felt sad when he died in 2017. Chris O'Donnell said that the show gave him a reason to live and help him keep going. Miguel's own band, the Generators, played a haunting version of Knocking on Heaven's Door as part of his last homage, which was very moving. Not just a goodbye, it was a send-off letter written with love. Even though it made me cry, his leaving was done with honor. But not every exit from this brand was a polite one. The next person on this list didn't leave because she was sick or old. She left because she stood up for herself and got hurt. Her story brought to light a bigger problem at CBS, one that still hangs over the whole NCIS world. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories. And don't go anywhere. Click the next video popping up on your screen right now.